In the 1950s, Dr. Joanna Budwig had a 90% success rate curing people of cancer using fresh-pressed flax oil and cottage cheese. The combination of dairy protein with unoxidized flax oil was able to restore oxygen transfer. It is now well known the cells of our bodies require unoxidized omega-3 and 6 seed oils to both attract and absorb oxygen. For the first time, there are seed oils with virtually zero oxidation, even after 1 year at room temperature. All other, quote, cold-pressed seed oils are structurally damaged and significantly oxidized by the time you consume them. Andrea's seed oils retain the correct shape, electron content, and information that is quickly communicated to all the cells of your body. By taking these sacred seed oils, your whole body will begin to use oxygen as the Creator designed it. Now combine this with our Life Force Enhanced One World Whey Protein, and you have a winning combination to confer energy and health like never before. Click on the 5 seed oil banner right here on extremehealthradio.com. That's extremehealthradio.com.
And this show is also brought to you by Perpetual Healing, which is our brand new exclusive. It is not launched yet, but it's launching very soon. If you're listening to this in the future, it might already be launched, but it's our brand new private exclusive online membership community, which is an amazing place for you guys to get answers to your health questions, to have access to 2 amazing people. One is a former medical anesthesiologist, medical doctor, and one is a naturopath of over 40 years. We take your questions every single month, and we dive deep into them, and we figure out what's going on with you and your health challenges. We get to the root cause of your health issues so that you can have better digestion, have more energy, have weight loss, feel great, have a higher sex drive, better hormones, sleep great, all this stuff. We're getting to the bottom of the root cause of all these issues at Perpetual Healing. We've got an amazing membership site, community, and forum on there. It's so awesome. So if you guys are interested in joining an exclusive membership website and join the community over there, just go to extremehealthradio.com/472 and you'll see the link to Perpetual Healing right there on that page under the sponsored posts. All right, welcome everybody to another episode here of Extreme Health Radio. We really appreciate it so much. We've got a great show for you today. We've got lots of stuff to get to. Oh my goodness, I don't even know if we're going to have enough time on this particular show to get to everything, but got lots to talk to you about today. So we're going to be covering all of that in just a second. Mainly, we're going to be talking about sleep and how to improve sleep and how to get the best sleep ever. I'm going to share with you some ideas that are, I guess, not really typical or mainstream ideas you probably won't hear anywhere else. Ideas that include lots of different things like gadgets and tools and different, oh gosh, what do you say? What do you call that? Just different tools you could use to improve your sleep. So we're going to be talking about that. But first, I want to let you guys know, so many of you guys have been writing in and asking, where's Kate? Where's Kate? Well, I haven't heard from her in a while. So I just want to let you guys know she is still here. She's still a part of this show. She is just doing some other things. And she's unable to make the show sometimes because of some engagements that she's doing. And so, yeah, so she's on selected shows, and she's still going to be doing Free for All Friday shows. So this particular show is a Free for All Friday show, but we are going to be covering some topics alone, just you and me. And she'll be joining us on the next show. So thank you guys for your concern for Kate. Everything is going great, and I can't wait to have her back on. Actually, we're going to do another Free for All Friday show here pretty soon, so we'll have her on that one. And so I'm at my little standing desk here. I got my standing desk that I love so much, and I use, and the chair that I sit on normally. Sometimes I'll switch between standing and sitting, and when I stand, I put the chair underneath my desk. And right now, I got our little dog, Charlie, underneath me, sitting right here on the chair, curled up, joining all of us as we're doing this little show. So, yeah, I just want to let you guys know about that. And so I wanted to talk to you about sleep. Did you know that like 40 million people in the United States suffer from some sort of chronic long-term sleep disorder? 40 million. Isn't that crazy? That is so many people. And so many people are on, I got some stats for you on sleep disorder medication like Ambien and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about sleep. So first of all, before we get into sleep, I want to talk with you guys. I just want to thank our latest patrons. You guys are awesome stuff, man. I love you guys. Eddie is our latest patron. We appreciate you so much. And he just donated $1 per show, which is awesome. And we do about 12 shows a month. So that would equal $12 a month for Eddie. Really appreciate that. And Mike, before that, also pledged $1 a month. You guys rock, man. I'm just so humbled and so thankful and so grateful that you guys, donated. That's so cool. And we realize that you guys can't donate forever and there's going to be a season for all of you guys. But, if you choose to donate, if you want to donate like 50 cents a show or whatever that you can do for a long term, that's awesome. And you guys are just amazing. And I also, so thank you, Eddie, and thank you, Mike. I wish I could, thank you personally. It's really challenging with this show. We get so many emails and so many people writing in. I can't get back to everybody and I wish I could meet you guys. I want to also read Chuck's latest iTunes review. I appreciate it, Chuck. You guys are awesome. Thanks for leaving us reviews on iTunes. That's huge. So if you haven't done so already, go over to iTunes, subscribe to us on there, rate us and review us, and just go to there, subscribe, rate, and review, and we would appreciate it a lot. And Chuck is our latest one. He says, these podcasts are really good. They're so helpful to me in learning about improving my health with speakers that are highly skilled in natural medicine and or are on the cutting edge of scientific research. There are a lot of eye-openers here in these podcasts. They dispel many commonly held beliefs that have been disproven through science or by successful health recovery for many people. I'm interested in natural medicine that works to treat the cause of my health problems, not just treat or mask the symptoms, which is the usual standard of care in the conventional health industry. So thank you, Chuck, for that one. Gave me 5 stars for our podcast. Appreciate that. And Jai, J-A-I-E, J-J, says, I love this podcast. I've been listening to on and off for the past 3 years or so, and every time I learn something incredibly insightful. What I love most is a variety of information. You sometimes get guests who contradict one another, which is comforting to me, knowing there's no agenda. You listen, you learn, then you determine for yourself what the right path is, which is why I find it empowering. Yes, there are, let's see, what does he say? Yes, there's a lot out there that's constantly compromising our health, but there's also solutions. This also is my first and only podcast review, so that should tell you how much I love them. Dude, thank you, Jay. I'm not sure how you say your name. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. And gosh, I wish we could bottle up your review and let everyone know just that whole idea of, of just so many people, guests contradict one another. And we get people all the time writing in saying, so-and-so contradicted with this person and that person and that person. What do you think? And all of that. I gotta just reiterate every time. I just say, you know what? These guests are all very insightful, informative research. Many of them have studied for long periods of time, but ultimately only you can be your own doctor. You know, we need to stop this idea of looking to gurus. These people are just, our guests are just, and even me, we're just offering ideas and we're just offering ways of healing and options. Because one option is never going to work for everybody, right? I mean, you can't, why does someone try something as simple as taking a probiotic when they have gut issues and they're healed, and someone else takes the same probiotic and it doesn't work? Well, it does work, but it doesn't reverse their symptoms. So we're all different. We all have different physiology. And on top of that, maybe if you're let's say there's such a thing. I'm not even sure. The more I learn about this stuff, the more I don't know. But let's say there is such a thing as someone, who needs to eat meat. Based on their physiology and based on their family ancestry. They call that the ancestral diet. Dr. Hal Huggins talks a lot about that. But isn't it possible that even someone who's a meat eater, if there is such a thing, might need to go for a few weeks and do vegetarian? Right? Maybe that's what's good for their body at that particular time. So even someone who is a meat eater might need to go vegan for a few weeks or months or years or whatever. So all of our bodies have different needs at different times. And, it's almost impossible to say one diet fits all for everybody. And, I have nothing against vegans. I have nothing against paleo people. I really want people to know, really primarily, that we all have options, right? We all have options, and we need to be our own guru and stop listening to people. It's funny, I'm telling you, stop listening to the people on our show. But it's like counterintuitive, right? Because I like it when you guys listen to our show. But just realize I think we're all just in the dark. I think we're all just experimenting and trying things, right? So what you said, Jai, is that correct? Yeah, that's right. Is so true. What I love most is the variety of information. You sometimes get guests who contradict one another, which is comforting to me, knowing there's no agenda. Yeah, I'm not trying to push anything, really. I'm just trying to push options, really. That's really what we're all about here, just pushing options. And so thank you, Jai, for your iTunes review. Thank you, Chuck. You're the man. I appreciate it. That is awesome. Chuck Hoffman. Thank you to Eddie and to Mike for donating to us on Patreon. You guys are amazing. Let's see, what else? We have a bunch of listener emails to get to. Let me do a couple of those first before we get into sleep, because I got some ideas about sleep, and I also have some ideas about our latest podcast episodes too. There's a new product that we're not affiliated with, but I want to tell you guys about it too. So we'll talk about that. But I have to say, as far as we'll do a couple of show recaps, and I want to let you guys know too, our shows, we're doing shows. I was going to say throws. We're doing shows 3 days a week on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So if you guys want to join the website, you can just follow us. Probably the best way. I was going to say you can follow us on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. But you know what? It's kind of bizarre. You can't really get everything. Like when we send out something on Instagram or Facebook, not everybody sees it for some weird reason. So the best thing to do, I would say, is to sign up to our newsletter list. That way you can see our emails. Hopefully they come to your inbox. If you text the word "get healthy" to 33444, you're probably right now listening on the run or driving or doing something, listening on your phone. And the best thing to do is just text the word "get healthy" to 33444. And that way you'll be able to keep up to date with all of our stuff. Usually we let you know of all of our past shows on our email list. We email Mondays and Fridays, so twice a week, and you can get updates on our shows as well as get updates on new events coming up and different things that are happening, different sales of different products perhaps. If there's a sale going on, we'll let you know so you can take advantage of it, as well as different summits. There's all kinds of really cool summits going on, and I love letting you guys know about those. They're so helpful. Let's see. So we had, let me see here. Episode 470, Dr. Thomas Lodi was our most recent show. Actually, a 471 with Adam Bergstrom. If you guys have not heard Adam Bergstrom, he is a wild, wild guy and super, super interesting. And he's one of the most unique people we've ever talked to. We've done about 15 shows with him, and he's just amazing. Really interesting guy. He talks about how important it is to eat food at the right time. So it all depends on the light and the angle and the mathematics of the angle of the sun that when it hits the food. And they call this solar nutrition. And so there's a time to eat, like for example, as the sun is rising, the first things on the earth that would receive the new daylight of the sun would be fruit trees that are tall. So they would get the first sun of the day, so they should be eaten first. And then as the sun rises and becomes higher in the sky, like around noon, then you can start eating foods that are lower down to the earth, like say, I would imagine, I'm not sure, I don't have the list in front of me right now, but like cow's milk or meat from cows or, shrubs, shrubs that grow fruits and vegetables and things like that. And then as the sun continues across the sky and goes lower on the horizon, then you can eat foods like root vegetables, fish, things that are below the surface of the earth. So it's interesting. And so we had a great talk with Adam recently. Episode 470, Dr. Thomas Lodi talked about what causes cancer, how to keep cancer from coming back. He's a really cool guy. He's got a great clinic called anoasisofhealing.com out in I think he splits his time between Arizona and somewhere in the Philippines. And then Carrie Rivera, talk about a controversial lady. She's using a substance called MMS, which is now I need to make sure I get this correct. It's a mixture of two different ingredients. I've taken it before, and it's pretty intense stuff. But what it is a mixture of sodium chlorite, ITE, sodium chlorite, and an activator, like some kind of acid, like citric acid or something like that. And so you mix these together and they become sodium chloride. And everyone is upset with her because they think that they're feeding bleach to children to get rid of autism, because it's chloride. It's a chloride molecule. But what she says is that there's two oxygen molecules attached to the sodium chloride IDE molecule, which causes it to break down in the body, and doesn't have the same effect in the body as chlorine or chloride. So she makes this very distinct difference between chlorine, and sodium chloride, which is has two oxygen molecules attached to it. So anyway, she uses this to treat autism. I don't know. I just, like I said, it's all about options. And so if your kid has autism, or you know anyone who has autism, I'm not saying you should try her protocol. I'm not recommending it. It's very, very controversial. You should look into it. But we did do a show with her, and that was episode 469. So at least you can make up your own mind. Episode 468, Mr. Anthony Anderson. He was in studio. We got a video of that. Episode 468 came in. We talked about our own health journeys. He's the Grow Paradise guy. So if you need any consultations for growing your own fruits and vegetables in your own home, he's the guy to contact. growparadise.com. Anthony Anderson, episode 468. So that was pretty cool. We talked about dumpster diving, reconnecting with nature, our journey, our spiritual journey through health. It's pretty cool stuff. He's a great guy. Then episode 467, Brandy Vaughn, former pharmaceutical industry insider, reveals the truth behind prescription drugs. She used to work for Merck. Can you imagine? She worked for Merck selling Vioxx to people, which was doubling the risk of stroke, doubling the risk of heart attack. I may be wrong about the heart attack, but I think it was doubling the risk of stroke, doubling the risk of heart attack. And she used to work for them. I mean, how bizarre, I don't even know where to begin. It's so crazy that people can have such a turnaround in this life. Isn't that nuts? That someone that could be like that is now adamantly against forced vaccinations and the flu shot, and doing this whole campaign against the very thing that she was earning a living from. So if you want to hear a pretty interesting turnaround, Brandy Vaughn, episode 467, former pharmaceutical industry insider. Yeah, worked for Merck. Crazy. And then we had episode 466, Dr. Jack Cruz. He's awesome, man. I highly recommend you listen to that one. He has changed reinforced, because I did learn a lot during that episode, but he reinforced my understanding of the importance of light. And he talked about mitochondria, and he talked about how when we all are running around trying to do genetic testing and trying to focus on the genes, when it comes to disease or genetic expression of our genotype, he's saying, no, the mitochondria is what controls the genes. The mitochondria is another level up. So it's not about the genes at all. It's about the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is affected directly by frequencies of light. And so he went into this whole scientific diatribe about light and blue light and the spectrums of light and getting reconnected to the earth and magnetism and grounding. Oh man, it was awesome. And I highly recommend you listen to that one. I hope you guys enjoy that one, because that one has been, he might be up in the top, he's got to be in the top 5 at least of the most interesting people. A lot of times we have guests on our show, and I've heard most of what they have to say, and so nothing is really new from what they say. Maybe perhaps experiences they've had, or examples with patients, and anecdotal examples that they might share from their own life and things like that. But for the most part, I've heard just about everything. I think in terms of natural health, I should say. There's always room to learn. But what I'm saying is that Dr. Jack Cruz is like he's got to be one of the most unique people. So listen to that one, episode 466. And then 465, we had Sarah Banta. She does this work with, what do you call that? It's, not magnetic. What is the kind of silver? So she's not a fan of the colloidal silver, or as my brother-in-law calls it, colloidal. He calls it colloidal silver. I love that. Colloidal silver. It's like when people say, diabetes. I've got diabetes. Oh man, this is so funny. I don't know where people, I don't know. I didn't know there's a U at the end of diabetes. But yeah, so she does this work with colloidal silver, or it's not colloidal silver. It's, what is the word for that? It's some word. Oh, it's called scalar silver. So it's bombarded with scalar waves, and apparently it is, let's see, it is almost like a homeopathic. There's no physical residue of the silver in there and in the solution anymore. So there's got no physical particles of silver, but it's bombarded with something called a scalar wave. And we did a show with Ken Rolla, who talks about scalar technology, and that was fascinating. Then we had Mr. Luke Story. Oh, and she also talks about the ketogenic diet. So she combines silver, this silver, along with a detox protocol and the ketogenic diet to help her patients recover their health. So she's doing some cool stuff. Episode 464, Luke Story. He's a really cool guy. He's got a great podcast too. Go check out his site, lukestory.com, LUKESTOREY. lukestory.com, and he's got some cool people on his podcast, and we just kind of hung out and had some fun and talked about what we do, and it was good stuff. It was really good stuff. He talked about biohacking, and we got into conspiracy theories and politics. It was a good time. Then we had episode 463, Erin Porter on the show, and she talked about how she's healing fungal infections naturally, and she had this incredible fungal infection in her nasal, I think it was her nasal cavity. And she talked about what it did to her. And she was just on this 25-year journey of trying to figure out what was wrong with her health. And so she finally nailed it down to the fungus. And so we talked all about that. That was really cool. So those are our show recaps all the way back to 463, and episode 462 was my episode when I talked about boosting your immune system. So that's a good recap of everything that we have going on. So let me get to a couple emails that are pressing here, and then I want to talk about sleep, because sleep, like I said before, is affecting 40 million people. Can you imagine that? 40 million people. Crazy, right? All right, here we go. All right, Mary writes in, I've been listening for a long time, and I've never wrote you guys, which is probably like many people who listen to the show. I'm so appreciative of what you do, but I had a real concern over something that came up in an episode with Anthony Anderson. You talked about importing fruit and plant species and how you didn't see it as a big deal. I'm American, and I'm living in New Zealand with my Kiwi husband. Since I've been listening to you, I know your mom is a Kiwi, and I was not surprised, and you don't it was not surprised you don't know what a threat imported plant and animal species has been on the unique biodiversity here, meaning in New Zealand. Imported species can easily take over, killing off native plants that native fauna depend on to survive, like little native birds. I've comforted my little boy over big gores, scratches he's gotten while playing in the forest. I'm not sure what she says there. The English brought it here, and now it's everywhere. It takes nature millions of years to create unique ecosystems that can be destroyed by humans so quickly. Thanks for what you do, Mary. Yeah, Mary, we weren't saying that we didn't think it was a big deal. I was just sharing a story of my mom, who is from New Zealand, and what she does or has done in the past is take some of the plants that I don't even know if I should repeat this, but she has taken little snippets of bulbs of plants and mailed them back to herself from New Zealand to America. So I realize it's an issue, but I wasn't making light of it, or I wasn't saying that we didn't know that it was an issue. I was just talking about, just sharing the story about what my mom has done. So Okay, Joseph writes in, where is the hash tar cannabidiol goo for skin cancers? And I think he's referring to maybe a video that we did. I'm not sure. That's all that says here. Where is the hash tar cannabidiol goo for skin cancer? So, if you listen to episode 422, that's with Rick Simpson. He has instructions on his website about how to make the cannabis. I want to say paste, but it's oil. It's the hemp oil. So that's what you want to do, is go to Rick Simpson's website, look him up, Rick Simpson, or you can just go to extremehealthradio.com/422. There'll be a link on that page and to his website. And on his website, he's got a video about how to make that stuff. So check that out. Also, let me share with you something really quickly about some cool products. We're not affiliated with them in any way, but whether or not we're affiliated with a particular product doesn't mean that that's not the criteria by which we will share it with you. We'll share it if we're connected to it on a financial level, but we'll also share it if we're not, and it's a great product. So there's no real, nothing to hide here. So let's see, what is that? Herb Healers. I think it's Herb Healers. Let me just find it real quick. Yeah, herbhealers.com. And make sure that's plural. And that's where you can get the black salve. Oh, they have cannabis oil. No way. Yeah, we had Greg Catton on the show a while back. Talk about a guy who's been put through the ringer. Oh, my gosh. Our trusty government here in the United States decided to go and extradite him from his location in Central America. Isn't that crazy? Show up at your place in the middle of the night, coming for you because it's amazing. So yeah, herbhealers.com, and he's been on our show. If you guys ever want to know if a guest has been on our show, like this guy's name is Greg Catton, for example, you can just do Extreme Health Radio and no space. Just type in Extreme Health Radio, all one word, space, and then a guest name or subject matter or anything like that. And that's a good way to find people on our show. Okay, one final question. Here you go. No name here. There's no names. Okay. Hi, Justin, Kate. How are you both? I am doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm loving your show. It makes my cleaning days and my workouts much more interesting. I was going through some of your archives trying to find some info on sodium thiosulfate. Anyway, I came across Robert von Sarbacher. I was trying to find more info on him and his protocols, but I can't find a website or anything. Do you know what's happened to him? It looks like he's involved with ASEA somewhere along the line. Thanks for any help you can offer. Yeah, I'm not sure. He might be one of the more, he's got to be up high on the list too of people that I think are really fascinating. I don't know what the deal is. I spoke to him, I think he's been on the show twice, and I spoke to him off the air, and we must have spoken for, I'd say, probably an hour, both times, off the air, after the show. So, I mean, that guy's got energy to boot. So, yeah, he might be one of the more requested people to have back on, and probably one of the more, I guess, one of the main guests that we get emails about is Mr. Robert von Sarbacher. So, yeah, I know he's involved with ASEA. I don't know why his website is so basic, and I don't know why he doesn't update it or put any new protocols on there. I don't know. He's an interesting guy. That's all I can say, really. A lot of the people that are on our show, we can't vouch for them. You know, I mean, we do our best and we look into people, obviously, as much as we possibly can. But at some point, it's like trusting a doctor telling you about a supplement, or trusting a doctor to telling you about the lifestyle advice or something like that. At some point, you have to just, decide who you're going to believe and trust your own gut, trust your own intuition, and then just go for it. So, I don't know much about Robert von Sarbacher. He seemed like a really nice guy when he was on our show, and after the show, he just was a fireball of energy and just the nicest guy. But I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know anything other than that. So if you go, a lot of people ask for his email address too, and I have to direct people all the time. Go to I think it's robertvon.com, V-O-N, a V as in Victor. And you got to go to the Mini Beat Protocol web page, and you get to that by clicking a link at the bottom of his website. And then you go to the Mini Beat Protocol article, and then his email address is at the bottom of that page. So Yeah. So hopefully that helps you guys. Okay. So let's get into some sleep issue here. Like I was telling you before, 40 million people. See, last night I didn't get a good sleep. I slept very poorly last night. Got woken up by thunder and lightning a lot earlier than I wanted to, and then I couldn't go back. So I'm going to share with you some ideas about sleep. Okay, so let's talk about some gadgets and tools that you can put around your bed, in your bedroom, and things like that. And a lot of these tools could be, what is the right word? Seen by people as not working or being too woo-woo. But I'm just going to give options here. And if you believe in these things, maybe they'll work or maybe they won't. Maybe it's all just, maybe we live in a reductionist world that's 100% scientific and none of this stuff works. Who knows? But, the first one is a pyramid. And since the beginning of time, people have known that pyramids are a sacred shape. And it goes into sacred geometry, the 5 platonic solids, and all of that stuff. And a lot of people claim that pyramids change the energetics of a room. Who knows? I don't know. But you can get these things now. Talk about crazy, right? You can get pyramids that you can hang above your bed. Crazy, right? So yeah, if that sounds like a cool thing. See, my thing here with all this stuff is just doing everything. I don't know if a pyramid works, but I know that they made, ancient civilizations built pyramids for a reason, and it is a sacred shape. So why not use it? So you can get these pyramids. Just look online for them. You can buy them. You can do meditations under them and everything. So if that tickles your fancy, you can buy a pyramid. And also you can get an EMF canopy, and they sell those at the company that we are connected with called Less EMF. And you can buy these EMF canopies, and what it does is it blocks electromagnetic field radiation from and dirty electricity from entering into your sleeping area because it's protected, almost like a tent. The other thing to look for is organic bedding. Are you sleeping on something that is toxic? Do you have memory foam on your bed? Is it off-gassing chemicals and fire-retardant chemicals and stuff like that? It's really important to sleep on organic bedding. So, you could be stressing. See, when you go to sleep, you want the sleep environment to be extremely healing and extremely, what's the right word? Not taxing your immune system, right? You don't want to be in a fight or flight state. You don't want to be in inflammation during your time that you're supposed to be sleeping. You want to completely let go and by having all of these, by not having all these things and doing everything wrong, you're putting a tremendous load on your immune system. Your immune system is always fighting and working hard. And so if you can cause it to almost be like a relaxing spa where you're just completely able to let go, you're going to get the best sleep. So all of these things, by not doing them, puts a burden on your immune system, and it's inflammatory in some nature. The other thing is an earth pulse. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's a little device that's grounded that you can plug in. And what it does is it emits the same frequency that's being emitted by the earth, and the Schumann resonance, which is, I think, 7.25 or 7.5 hertz. And so it mimics the earth's resonance. And so you can put that underneath one of your mattresses, underneath your bed. So it's kind of a cool idea. The other thing is a stress shield. Now, we had Ken Rolla on the show a while back. It's like a little mini pyramid that you can put next to your bed, and it uses scalar technology and all these different magnetite and magnetism and all kinds of cool stuff. So I don't know if it works, but I'm pretty fascinated by it. I mean, why not have one? And you can check it out. So you know what I've done? I've done a video about all these things. So I'll put the video on this page. How about that? So I go through all of these things on the video that I'm drawing this from. So the other thing is grounded bed sheets. We sell these in our store through earthing.com, and I highly recommend. Actually, last night we unplugged our grounded bed sheets because there's lightning. We don't want the lightning to strike the ground and then come up through our bed. But that was funny last night. But yeah, grounded bed sheets is an interesting technology, and what it does is the sheets are lined with silver. So, and silver is the most conductive substance you can use, and these sheets are lined in a grid-like pattern with a conductive silver lining all throughout the sheet. But the sheet it's like a regular sheet, bed sheet, so it goes over your bed and you lay on top of it. And that sheet or that silver, all of the energy from the ground, because the earth emits an energy and a frequency, comes up through the ground wire and through the wire itself into your bed sheet, and it's like you're sleeping on the ground. And I have to say, I feel I could definitely notice a difference when we don't have it. Like last night, we didn't have it on, and I just didn't sleep. Like I said, I didn't sleep well. I don't know. I know a big difference. I noticed a big difference with not having it on. I don't know, but it makes sense, right? Because all this stuff is getting back to nature, getting back to how we're supposed to be connected to the earth and living, in a connected lifestyle, in the sun, on the ground, receiving magnetism and fresh air, and the right, correct sun rays from the sun. And so, grounded bed sheets, I'd recommend getting some if you really want to take your sleep to the next level. I'd recommend getting some. I really enjoy ours, and actually, we're going to buy another pair here pretty soon. So, yeah, we sell those in our store if you want to check out what they're all about. Building a crystal grid. Crystals have been used for many, many years, thousands of years, and crystals are living entities. And you can develop a crystal grid. You can build a crystal grid. Look it up on YouTube, building a crystal grid. And you can put, a lot of people will make like a crystal grid in their bedroom, so they'll put crystals on the corners, on the ground of their bedroom or on the windowsill, and make an imaginary crystal grid. And then they'll put crystals underneath their mattress, lining them up with all 7 chakras of their, can't believe I'm saying this, so funny. But they're lining it up with their 7 chakras. And so you can actually learn about crystals, and it's pretty cool, actually. But you know what? The way I look at it is like no one's going to walk in your bedroom and notice a crystal grid, because they won't even notice the crystals being there. No one's going to lift up your mattress and see crystals underneath there. So, and if they do, who cares, right? But all this stuff is like, no one will notice your grounded bed sheets. People don't see that stuff. So it's, maybe a pyramid that's levitating above your bed, possibly, but, a crystal grid, I don't think so. So the other idea is turning off electricity. Turn off all the electricity to your house. A lot of people in Europe, what they'll do is they'll have their electricians come into their house, and people can actually turn it off with a switch, with like a remote control. And they'll just turn off all the electricity to the house, or at least to the room. And so turning off and minimizing all of that EMF noise is going to be critical. And also turn off your wireless too. We turn ours off every single night. Less EMF, which is a company that we're connected up with on our store, they sell these little covers for your wireless devices or boxes that you can put over the top of them that help prevent the wireless from being so strong. So turn off electricity. Definitely turn off the wireless to your house when you go to bed. More plants. This is something that Daniel Vitalis talks about through his work with rewilding. And let me just share with you some plants. There's some really good plants that you should bring into your home. And let's see, one of them is bamboo palm. It removes formaldehyde, and it's also said to act as a natural humidifier. And snake plant, it absorbs nitrogen oxides and formaldehyde. Snake plant does. And Erica palm, sounds like a person's name, doesn't it? Areca, A-R-E-C-A, palm, P-A-L-M, is one of the best air purifying plants for general air cleanliness. Spider plants are great as well for removing carbon monoxide and other impurities. And they're one of the 3 plants that NASA says that are best at removing formaldehyde in the air, spider plants. Peace lilies are great too. They could be called the clean-all. They're often placed in bathrooms or laundry rooms because they're known for removing mold spores, as well as formaldehyde and trichloroethylene as well. Peace lilies. And gerbera? Is that what you said? Gerbera daisy. They're like a flower, but it removes benzene from the air. And they help to improve sleep by absorbing carbon dioxide and giving off more oxygen overnight. Some other plants to consider are Ficus alii, removes toxins and purifies the air. Lady palms are good. Dracana, Janet Craig, removes trichloroethylene. Dwarf date palms, bamboo palms, Boston firms, and peace lilies, which I just mentioned. Let's see. A lot of these work on formaldehyde. But the dwarf date palm removes xylene, which is interesting. So, so those are some ideas for plants to bring into your bedroom. And the next thing is to point your head to true north. If you can find where that is with a little compass of some kind. As you know, we're magnetic creatures much more than we are biological or much more than we are physical, and we're not a machine really, but we're magnetic creatures primarily. And so when you face your head to true north, people have claimed that has helped their sleep tremendously. So like I said, these tips you're not going to really hear. You probably won't hear them in any books. You probably won't hear them on any mainstream anything really, because who's going to talk about improving your sleep by changing the positioning of your bed so your head faces true north? You're not going to get that in a lot of mainstream areas. Another thing to do is consider buying some EMF paint. And what you can do is buy this black paint, and they sell it. We sell it in our store from Less EMF, and you can buy the black paint and paint your walls on the inside of your bedroom. Let it dry, and then paint and do another coat. Let it dry, and then you can paint over the top of that like a white color or anything, or a beige, any kind of color you want. And the black paint just disappears. But what it does is this paint has substances within it that help create something akin to like a Faraday cage, where it helps prevent EMF and Wi-Fi and all that stuff from entering into your bedroom. So that might be something to consider. Another kind of crazy concept is putting crystals into the paint. If you're someone who has a lot of money and you buy a lot of crystals, it's possible. There's been people that I've listened to and read about that actually grind the crystals up into like a powder, super fine dust powder, and then they'll put that into the paint. So you don't even really see the crystals because it's like it's a fine powder, right? But they'll mix that into the paint and then they'll paint their walls with it. Pretty interesting, right? Another idea is to open the windows of your room to get that wild air in. You want fresh air. You want to be ideally sleeping on the ground outside. That would be the best thing. So what we're trying to do here is mimic sleeping outside. So open the windows of your bedroom if you can. I know a lot of times if you live in the city or something or near a loud neighbor or something, it's impossible to do that. But if you can bring that wild air into your bedroom, that would be ideal. And also something else to consider is raising the head of your bed. We did a whole show with this with Sydney Ross Singer. And if you go to our sleep section of our website, you can find that show with Sydney Ross Singer. And he talks about raising the head of your bed. And he talks about this idea that the blood pressure starts to pool in our head at night because we're laying parallel to the ground, right? So what happens is that this is causing interocular eye pressure, which is, he thinks, leading to conditions like glaucoma and macular degeneration, as well as high blood pressure and all kinds of weird health issues. And he did a whole show with us on that about raising incline bed therapy, it's called. So check that out. Incline bed therapy. The other thing is not using pillows. So pillows are a modern sort of invention. And I once heard somebody say, you want to find out if you're addicted to, if someone who says I'm not addicted to something or I have no addictions, try sleeping without a pillow. Right? It's one of the most difficult things to do. So, but I've been doing it a lot, and I sleep primarily now without a pillow. When I sleep on my side, I haven't really got to the point where I can sleep on my side without a pillow yet. But when I lay on my back, I just don't have a pillow at all. And I'd recommend that, especially if you're going to do incline. If you're going to sleep on a horizontal bed, I would probably recommend sleeping with a pillow because you want your head propped up a little bit. It's bad for your neck and bad for on a chiropractic level because you want to create that reverse S curve, I think, on the back of your neck. So a pillow is bad for your neck in that regard, But when you're sleeping, it helps to raise your head so you don't raise the blood pressure in your eyes and your head. And so it's kind of a catch-22. It would be better if you could raise the head of your bed up and sleep with no pillow. That way you get the best of both worlds. You don't get the blood pooling in your head, but you also get to sleep on a more natural, flat surface and not have to have your head propped up, creating that reverse S-curve, which none of us want. So that is something to consider, not using a pillow. Other idea is just simple. Go to bed earlier. A lot of people talk about how important it is to get that sleep before 10 p.m. if you can. This is something that I am horrible at. I'm by nature a late night guy. I like to stay up late and work late. I get more done that way. But there's something I'm constantly working on. I'm constantly really trying to refine and get better at it, going to bed early. Another thing, too, is turning off blue light. Now, I have a computer that has flux on it, and I would really recommend getting flux. Now, this is an important point. Dr. Jack Kruse on episode 466, he's been on our show twice. He says that flux is not enough. Now, I have my flux settings. Okay, so let me just explain something a little bit about Jack Kruse, and his theories are really fascinating. So I'm sure you guys have heard about the guy from Bulletproof Coffee, Dave Asprey. And he is all into biohacking and all that kind of stuff, and that's great. But so recently he did a symposium or a live event out in LA where he talked about exposing the body to blue light during the day and upon waking, because it's much more natural and you get exposed to that blue light and your body wakes up and all this stuff, right? And then exposing yourself to red light or orange light in the evening, if you are exposed to light, to mimic the sun and mimic natural light in a way that doesn't contain so much blue light. Because our computers, it's my contention that our computers, not just the EMF radiation and not just the types of people we're becoming, but just the light itself is so damaging and so is so damaging. And I don't even think we have an understanding yet of what it's doing. And I think that's what had a lot to do with Steve Jobs. That's just a personal observation about Steve Jobs. But in any event, limit your exposure to blue light. So Dr. Jack Kruse says that Dave Asprey is just a marketer and he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not a scientist and blah, blah, blah. And so he gave all the science about why you don't want to ever expose yourself to blue light coming from artificial machines like computers and cell phones and laptops and iPads and things, because the nature of the blue light, even LED lights, which apparently are horrible in terms of the blue light. Better for the environment, yes, maybe, but horrible for, better for energy, yes, maybe, but horrible for blue light because it's blocking out all of the necessary UV rays that you need for true health. So in any event, as a result of listening to Dr. Jack Kruse, I'm siding with him on this issue until proven wrong. So what I've done is I've put my lighting at night on the Flux computer to Ember, which is 1200 Kelvin. Now sunlight, direct sunlight in the midday is 5000 Kelvin. So when I'm working on my computer at night, as soon as it sunsets, I've got it rigged to 1200 K, which is 1200 Kelvin, and they call that Ember. I think I had to change a couple settings on my computer in order to do this. But what I also did is that in the daytime, I've put it to incandescent. So let's see, it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So sunlight in the middle of the day, it says is 5000 Kelvin, and then it drops all the way down to 1200 Kelvin for Ember on Flux. I used to have mine at 5000 Kelvin for sunlight because it was just regular. But after listening to Jack Kruse, I put my daytime settings to 2700 Kelvin, which is incandescent, which is halfway between sunlight and Ember. And so that's what I've done. So my screen is slightly orange right now during the day, and it becomes a deep orange when I'm working at night. And what it does, it's so orange that I almost can't work on my computer. So it forces me to get all my work done before the sun sets, which in the winter is a little bit challenging because sun sets at 4:45 here in California. in the middle of winter. So just some ideas, right? So take that as you may. Listen to the show with Dr. Jack Cruz and find out what he says. Okay, so the other one is melatonin. Melatonin is obviously something people take for going to bed. A lot of people take 60 milligrams of it for cancer prevention or cancer treatment. So something to think about. I take about 10 milligrams every now and then if I need it. Usually I'm so tired that I don't even need it. The next one is exercise. There's nothing like a hard day's work to get you tired. So I try to include during the day some sort of mental stimulus. So something that makes me concentrate and think about, different concepts and figuring things out. You ever remember doing math problems as a child and it just becomes so exhausting. Like you're just so tired after doing a math problem for too long. You can't figure it out. Well, there's something about doing mental work like that. So, I'll try to do something like that where I'm talking to someone or I'm reading something technical or I'm making sure that I'm doing something mentally exhausting during the day. And then exercise. If you combine the mental with the physical during the day, that's huge. So there's nothing like a hard day's work to make you tired at night. There's just nothing like it. If you're exhausted from your training, your workouts, your physical exertions, maybe you went for a hike or went surfing or something, that's going to wear you out. And I can't recommend that enough. A lot of people just need to get more exercise. The other thing is get in the sun every single day because your body's rhythm is like a circadian rhythm. And it's like a clock, if you set a clock, those old clocks, those round clocks that you would have, your mom or grandma would have them in their room. And those clocks, every now and then, if they didn't reset them or recalibrate them, they would just be off because it'd be off by like a fraction of a second. But over time, that fraction of a second makes it like 5 minutes off, 5 minutes fast, 5 minutes slow, 10 minutes fast, 10 minutes slow. So all of that fraction of a second, maybe it's like 1/100th of a second, but over the course of a couple of years, that becomes like 5 or 10 minutes off. So you have to constantly recalibrate the clock to get it back. And when you go outside and are standing barefoot on the ground, receiving the electrons from the earth and breathing fresh air and getting that sunlight into your eyes and vitamin D, it's teaching your body that this is what time it is, exactly what time it is. And it's daytime and it's time for you to be awake. And so training your body every day to be outside is like resetting your circadian clock or rhythm every single day. So the next thing to do is not eat before bed. This is huge. A lot of people eat a big meal. We've all done it, right? Eating a big meal before bed and you just go to bed with this full stomach and you feel horrible. It's never good. So what I do is I try to eat about 4 hours, let at least 4 hours go by after I eat or drink anything before bed and before I go to bed. So a couple other things to do, meditate or stretch. I found stretching right before bed is amazing. A lot of times what I'll do is I do a little process. I'll do some meditation, usually about 15 minutes. Lately, I've been doing it outside, which has been amazing. My gosh, if you can meditate outside at night under the moonlight, howling at the moon, it's amazing. Yeah, meditate outside, grounded under the moonlight, breathing fresh air. Gosh, nothing beats that. So what I've been doing is a little bit of meditation, and then I'll do my Qigong. I do that every night before bed. In the morning and at night, I do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. And that's a great way to ground yourself. Qigong is just awesome, man. I can't recommend it enough. It's in our store if you guys want to go check it out. Qigong is just, there's something about a moving meditation. It's different than just regular sitting meditation. There's some healing aspect to Qigong that's not in regular meditation, I've found. It's just, man, there's something about that. So anyway, I'll do Qigong and meditation. And then I'll do a stretch. So I'll stretch for 15 minutes. I have a little foam roller that I'll go over my muscles with, and I use rapid release technology to help loosen my muscles. We're going to be adding that to our store soon. It's this great product that helps you to release your muscles. And I'll just do some stretching before bed, and I always sleep so good. And also reading before bed too. So basically what you want to do is when the sun sets, that's God's way, nature's way of telling you it's time to start ramping down. It's time to start limiting your exposure to bright lights, to excessive blue lights, to computer screens, to stimulus, and anything that's going to stimulate your body. So it's time to start ramping down. And in the same way you have to sort of ramp up from getting up, you know what I mean? You get up out of the bed, it takes you a minute to wake up. You have to do the same thing going to bed. So it's this easing in process that might take 4 or 5 hours, but you sort of, ease in and you continually do things that are going to put you in that state of going to bed and slipping into a nice restful sleep. So reading is an amazing thing to do at night before bed. If you can do it before you get too tired. Usually I'll do it before I do my Qigong and before I do my meditation. And it just gets you in a nice cerebral state. It's great. Also, taking a warm salt bath with essential oils is great. And you can also use essential oils in the bedroom. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put Vitality Herbs and clay, that sacred clay, into the bath. And they have a black, what is their black product? It looks like black mud almost. And I'll put that into the bath along with sacred clay. I'll put some hydrogen peroxide. I've put a little DMSO in there before, along with some baking soda and Epsom salts and essential oils, and I'll just take a bath before bed. And that really is just, talk about a way to really get you nice and tired and feeling good, absorbing all those minerals into your bloodstream through your skin. It's awesome. And you can also get a diffuser and put essential oils in your bedroom, which is something we do too. They're great. You can just turn that thing on and get essential oils all night long in your bedroom. Another thing also too, along with the plants that you can do for your bedroom, is doing an air purifier. We like the Austin Air. We sell that on our store. We're partial to that one just because of the nature of the 2,700 different chemical compounds, along with dust and everything else that it gets rid of. But putting that in your bedroom as well and creating a nice clean air for you to breathe during the time you're sleeping. Also, this is obvious, but limit your coffee. Limit your caffeine before bed, obviously. If I do caffeine at all, it's just in the morning. A little bit of coffee, I do it in the morning. And I try to not... And it depends, too. If I know I'm not working out that day, I won't do caffeine that day because I know I'm not going to work it off either through the sauna or a sweat. A lot of times if I know I'm going to do a sauna, get in my relaxed sauna here, I'll do caffeine because I know I'm going to sweat it out. So yeah, and also some other things to consider too. I got 3 more things for you that you're probably not going to hear in many different places. One is the shape of the room. In our modern Western society, we are very box oriented and we're very much into hard right angles. And the angle of the space that you live in directly affects your ability to have an open mind. And if you have a room, which is like our room now, every room is just got these hard 90-degree right angles, and you never see right angles in nature. You never see smooth surfaces in nature. Everything has a texture. Everything is curved, and everything is sort of round, I would say, or curved in nature. And there's no hard right angles in nature. And so when you live in a space that is got all those 4 corners of hard right angles, 90-degree angles like that, that's very much disconnected from the way nature works. And so, like I said before, what we're trying to do is mimic basically sleeping in the woods on the ground. None of us really want to do that. So what we want to do is create an environment where we're able to mimic that as much as possible. So if you're able to, this would, if you're a carpenter or you're good with working with wood or you're good at building things, you can have a room built this way, or you could have construction guy come in and ramp up your room this way. But if you can curve those angles inside your room, it directly affects, we go from, like we've all heard before, we live in a box, we drive in a box, we sit in a box cubicle, we eat box food, all this stuff is just artificial. And so recreating something more natural is so you'll find, check it out, go into a room that's got curved edges and spend some time there, and you'll notice a difference. It's just true. I've noticed it myself. I can't prove any of this stuff. These are just ideas, just food for thought. And the other thing too is our bodies want to be about 60 68 degrees, I think, or 66 degrees, not our bodies, but the room that we sleep in. And so they sell cooling pads. Like, you can buy them on Amazon, cooling pads, and you can put them underneath your side of the bed or your entire bed or whatever. And they keep you cool during the night. And being nice and cool for me, is a big deal. So the colder I am with more blankets, the better I sleep. Also, there's something also too, I don't know much about this, and maybe if you're listening to this, you can take a look at this, but there's been a lot of research about people that live to extreme longevity, and they tend to live in areas in high altitude. And so the idea is that this is coming into vogue with people competing in athletics, where they will create these altitude beds, so you can get something that covers your bed that mimics like being at 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 feet, where the oxygen is a little bit lower. And so that's something, it's just something to consider. If that's something that you think would benefit you, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research on it. I'm still just learning about it right now. So if you can do some research on that, I'm not sure what they're called, just high altitude bed chambers or something like that. You can do a search for it and all that. So those are some ideas. I'll put a video that I did that covered a lot of these in the video, but I didn't cover all of them. Actually, one final thing too that just came to mind is buying a PEMF mat. We are going to be starting to sell these pretty soon. They're amazing pieces of technology, and we've done a show with Bryant Myers on the show, I forget, a while back, and do some research into the PEMF mat, and you can sleep on this thing, and it mimics just from what my research showed me before. This was probably a couple years ago that I did some research on this, but it mimics the Schumann resonance of the Earth, and so it brings up these healing electromagnetic radiation from the Earth, and you can sleep on these things, and they're pretty incredible. One other thing too, I want to let you guys know, I forgot that, I don't think I told you about this. The magnetic mattress pad. There is a magnetic mattress pad that you can get from Magnetico, I think. We don't have any financial involvement with them. Until I buy one and use it, I won't not support it, but I won't promote it. Because I don't, obviously I don't have experience with it, but I think it's Magnetico, and you can search for that online, and we're trying to talk to the doctor behind that website. We've reached out to them, and we're going back and forth currently, but yeah, but they're like, I think they're like $4,000 or something. They're super expensive, I think, depending probably on the size bed you have, but a lot of people have them. A lot of people swear by them, and they're these big, thick magnetic pads you can put on your bed. So I don't know. You probably want to talk to someone who's really, really versed in this type of information. In terms of combining something like the PEMF mat, the grounded bed sheets, the Earth Pulse product, and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I don't know if you can combine all these things, but who knows? You know what? You know what's crazy? This is like 30 ideas that I just went over. 30 ideas. All to mimic just sleeping out in your backyard on the grass. Isn't that crazy? That's just nuts. That's so insane that we're so disconnected from nature that, we have to come up with 30 bizarre, crazy ideas to mimic something as simple as laying outside or taking a nap on the beach. You know what I mean? Gosh, there's something bizarre about that, isn't there? Where have we gone wrong in our culture? Jeez, man. So yeah, so all of this really just basically mimics nature and mimics being in nature. A couple other things I wanted to share with you about a couple things. Let's see. Should we cover this now? No. Let's see. There's a product that I want to tell you about. We don't have any financial correlations or connections with these two companies, but perhaps one day, depending on my experience with it, and if I think it's good enough. But there's something called the Photon Genie that I've been learning about, and it uses a series of 8 different technologies to help heal and restore the body. Everything from sound therapy to light therapy to heat therapy to magnetic therapy, and it uses all 8 different types of frequencies and sound and light and all this color therapy and all this crazy stuff. So look that up, the Photon Genie. I think there's like a photon or a sauna or a super sauna or something like that. Haven't checked it out yet, but if you're interested in gadgets and things, check that out, the Photon Genie. And I'd like to do a show about that because I want to learn more about what it does and that kind of stuff. And also, I want to tell you about the accelerated silver product. This is really, really interesting. I was telling you guys about this with our show with Sarah Banta. What episode number was that? Well, I'll let you, it's on the homepage now. I'll let you take a look at it. But she does that scalar silver. And recently, as you guys know, Kate has been working part-time at a speech therapy place for autistic children. And all of the kids that are coming in there are just sick. Like every one of them is just coming down with the flu and sickness and cold and stuff. So anyway, Kate got this really bad cough recently. And she was up all night coughing, and it was just less than great. And normally I have a really strong immune system. But normally something like being exposure to that for so long, I think it was like 2 weeks. She's getting over it now, but normally exposure to that would just normally, at some point, the exposure would be too much, and I would come down with a sore throat and stuff. But I was taking this accelerated silver product from Sarah Banta, and I think that alone was the number one reason why I didn't come down with it, because, as you know, silver kills everything. And I nebulized silver with the Omron nebulizer, which I highly recommend. It's like a portable, battery-operated, silent nebulizer, which are 3 awesome descriptions of a great nebulizer, because most nebulizers are really loud, they're not portable, and you have to plug them in. You can't take them on the road with you. But the Omron is portable, it uses batteries, and it's virtually silent. So anyway, I ingested the silver, and I nebulized it every single day, and I felt it coming on. I could feel it. You ever get that feeling in your throat where, you can just, something's going on, like, I'm going to come down with a sore throat, and it's going to get worse. And it just kept hanging out there in my throat. And I would do my series of nebulizing and then taking massive amounts of that silver, and I never got it. So, I mean, I lead a pretty clean lifestyle, so it could have been all the other things I was doing as well, like the sauna, the relaxed far infrared sauna, and the Bellicon rebounder. Those are really great for cleansing and detoxifying. The sauna actually helps to raise your immune system by 40% by increasing heat shock proteins. So it could have been that, or it could have been the combination of that and the juicing and stuff. But I don't know. I've done that stuff before, and something about that silver just seemed to work like a charm. So anyway, we don't get any money for telling you about that. We don't, receive any financial kickback from her. I just like to tell you about cool things when I hear about them, which is why I told you about the Photon Genius. They call it Photon Genius or Photon Genie. So look up Sarah Banta and her accelerated silver. I think there's something to that product. I really do. I felt it. A lot of products I don't feel. Most products I don't feel. But that one I just felt like something intuitive, something good about that product. So anyway, that's about it for this episode. We covered a lot of shows. We did listener questions. We did show recaps, and I did a whole thing about light and sleep and things like that. And next time I want to talk to you about wild foods, how important wild foods are. So we'll talk about that next time maybe. But this is really cool because I love talking with Kate, and those are actually my favorite. And these are fun too because it just kind of allows me to hang out with you and get to know you a little bit better, and to I don't know, just share some stuff in my life, what I'm doing, and you guys can comment on it and share, and we can go back and forth and help each other. It's pretty cool. So I love these ones too. I hope you guys enjoy them. The ones where I do the Free for All Fridays solo. One other thing I want to let you guys know is we are working on creating the best membership site in the world, and we are super excited about it. And it's a membership site with Dr. Richard Massey, who is a former medical anesthesiologist. No longer practices conventional medicine, thank God, bless him. But yeah, he doesn't do that anymore as a result of people in government, and the reason why is because they demanded that he turn over all of his patients' medical records to them. He said, "Sorry, can't do that. That violates privacy acts and laws in Texas. I'm not going to do it." Then they came back and threatened them, and so finally he said, "All right, well, let me ask my patients, and I will ask every single one of them, and if whatever ones say yes, I will do, and whatever ones say no, sorry, we can't pass those on to you." So he goes to his patients and asks them, "Do you want me to release your public medical records so that they can be made public to these governmental agencies that violates Texas law?" And they said, "Nope, we don't want to do that. I don't want you to do that." So he went back to them and said, "Sorry, can't do it." So then they went ahead and took his license away. God bless America. So he said, "All right, well, that'll just help me. I've been leaning towards natural medicine for a while now, so that will help me start a career helping people in the natural field." And he's awesome. He's really great. So he's been at this for about 25 years. And as you know, medical anesthesiologists are smart people. Whew, the amount of training they have to do that's above and beyond a regular doctor is crazy. So he's a good friend of ours, and he's a part of it, as well as his partner in crime, Meridian Grace, who's been a naturopath for 40 years. And so they're a part of it. So it's me and them, and we partner together, and we take your listener questions. So we'll dive deep into your questions on a monthly basis, and it's really cool because they do so many cutting edge things in their life. So we're going to be doing monthly webinars, monthly classes, lessons. Where there's a great membership forum and a community in there where you guys can all be friends, and we can interact with each other in there and help share protocols and things to overcome different health conditions. It's awesome. And I'm so excited about this thing. So what's cool about it too is that we've divided up everything by subject matter. So you can just look up like fibromyalgia and listen to, 10 minutes of them and us and me sharing everything we know about fibromyalgia or heart disease or anything. So they have different knowledge from each other, and they both have different knowledge from me, obviously, since I've talked to hundreds of medical doctors. So we all kind of pool together and answer your questions. And it's a great place to get access to two cutting edge people. And so I wanted a place where I can go and turn for answers in case anything came up with my friends or family, as well as have an awesome community of people and the support of two amazing doctors. So if that interests you, you can go to the link on extremehealthradio.com. Let me get this correct here. /472. It's called Perpetual Healing. And so the idea behind perpetual healing is that our bodies are always healing themselves all the time. And we need to get in alignment with that healing and get out of the way and stop the disease process from happening and getting in alignment with what's already going on. And so this website, I'm telling you guys, if you want to get on top of your health, if you want to understand the root cause of your health issues, if you finally want to start having energy again, and you can work with them and get your blood looked at, and they'll give recommendations for supplements and find out where you're imbalanced and work with you on energetic level issues, family constellation therapies, and man, they're just awesome people. So if that isn't what you're into and you want to basically have access to two natural doctors on an ongoing basis, it would be like having your own naturopathic doctor that you can access on a regular basis through a private membership community. If that sounds good to you, then go over to extremehealthradio.com/476. I'm sorry, my bad. Let's get that right. 472. And there'll be a link for the sponsors of this episode. So extremehealthradio.com/472. All right, I've rambled on long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and to stay tuned for more shows coming up very soon. And on the next one, Kate's going to be joining me, so I don't have to do all the talking myself, so that will be good. And let's see, we've got lots of shows coming up this week, as we do always. So thank you guys for shopping in our store, which we are revamping, by the way. I'm spending all day today revamping the store. So we're adding new products. We're going to change the design a little bit and add some cool things to it. So thanks for buying through our store. Thank you guys for bookmarking and using our Amazon link. You guys are awesome. That really helps us, especially for the holiday seasons or anytime. Anytime you buy anything on Amazon, if you just click on our link, think about the work that Kate and I do here at Extreme Health Radio before you make that purchase. and then make the purchase through our link, or bookmark the link and use the bookmark every time. We thank you guys for that. You're so nice, so kind for doing that for us. It's a great way to support us too. If you don't have any extra money, but every now and then you buy some products on Amazon, what a great way to support us. And we just are so humbled and thankful for that. So thanks for that. And for those of you that do give us regular donations on Patreon for all of our work, we appreciate that. That's huge too. Just donating, 25 cents a show, which accounts to about $4 a month, is amazing. So that helps a lot. And you wouldn't believe, if every one of you guys did that and donated a tiny little amount like that, how much it helps. I know I listen to podcasts and it's hard for me to remember, to go back and support them. But, the fact that you guys do it is amazing. I'm so thankful. So thank you guys, that do that. Thanks for sharing our shows, your reviews on iTunes, and just passing our shows on Facebook. You guys are awesome. So we really appreciate that. We love you guys so much. You guys are the best, amazing listeners. We got the best community of people. Oh my gosh, the smartest, most kind people. And it's just awesome. It's just so cool to be surrounded by people. And the emails that come in, there's just so... it just makes you feel good. You're doing something right on the planet, and it feels good knowing, reading the emails that come in and you guys write. I mean, the majority of you guys don't write, and that's pretty common, but the ones that do, and for us to get those emails, it really makes us feel good when you tell us how the show's impacted you or whatever. So, thank you guys for all of your support, no matter what it is, because it's all just energy, right? It's all just energy. So thank you for your support. Anyway, I love you guys. Stay tuned for more shows, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any information in this blog.